Hi everyone and good morning. So cloud badging location management, that's what I'll be talking about today. And what is cloud badging location management? Well, it gives you the tools to protect the people and places that power your organization. So what we offer is visitor, employee, contractor, and evacuation management in a single application. We also have tools built in to help with risk mitigation, especially when looking to go back to all of new health regulations that you may find in place to help keep your people safe against COVID-19. So that's a nice little overview about what we do. So returning to work with confidence. Some of the tools that we offer are going to be health screening, physical distancing, a touchless entry point, and contact tracing. So those are just some of the main features there that we offer for cloud badging location management. So just to get into a little bit more about each of those main points. So our touchless kiosks. Those are going to be an easy option where it's completely hygienic for anyone. It can be your visitors, your employees, or contractors that walk up to view the kiosk. They do not have to download an app. It's complete open their phone, they use their browser, and they're going to be scanning this QR code. And the nice thing is that our QR code is very secure. You'll see a lot of other QR code scanning options for contact tracing out there in the marketplace, and those are just not as secure. They don't have that backing of making sure the QR code is refreshing. Ours refreshes every 30 seconds. It allows a maximum of 5 people to scan a single code, and then it automatically will refresh for you. So we have that security backing. And then we have Wool Mobile. So employees can sign in at the touchless kiosk, but we also have a great app that only employees and contractors can be invited to have on their phone. They download this app, and you can set up an automatic sign-in with this app using a geofence. So that's using their location tracking. It just runs in the background. Most people already use that. No, it's not tracking you throughout the building. It's only used for when you enter that geofence. And then when you leave that geofence, the app stops running in the background. So it's very discreet. There is no concerns about Big Brother tracking in situations like that. And what you can do is you can even set up little prompts where you might want to ask some questions on the app, such as if people are working remotely, maybe your staff are working off-site still, some are still in the office, some are staying from home and they do a swapping schedule. You can still make sure that you have those on your duty of care, logging in and using the system. We also have what we call important notifications. So if there's any kind of a crisis alert or a safety update, or anything that you want to let people know, then you can just have that pop up within the app and let people know. And we also have custom questions. So this allows you to create your own type of questionnaire flow that you may want to ask of contractors or employees. And that might be those health screening questions, just asking whatever you'd like. You may have other questions you ask as well. Even though we're still screening for COVID-19, you might have some health and safety policies that you need to make sure your contractors are asking. The nice thing is you can create customized question flows per group. So for my employees, those questions might be a little bit different than the question for my customers. So then we also have the health screening options, as we've mentioned. So we have custom questions for WOL Mobile, but also the kiosk and the touchless entry point. So you can set up those same questions to run when people are signing in on the kiosk, and you may have a different set of questions for your visitors. And again, there might also be an NDA or a privacy policy that they have to sign, as well as those health screening questions. So the great news is it's completely customizable, and you can set these up however you'd like and to run as frequently as you'd like. And the great thing as well is you can set up rules around these type of answers. So if someone was to answer, yes, I do have a fever today, then you may want to deny access to that employee or that visitor. If it's employee, you may let their manager know. This can be done on their app, on their phone. It can also be done on the kiosk as well. And you can set up access, you can set up text message notifications, email notifications. You don't have to go that far. Again, completely customizable, and you get to decide what are we doing with this data that we're receiving. We can also set up some physical distancing settings. So you can set up a maximum occupancy rules to maintain physical distancing, deny access and receive alerts when limits are reached. So if you only need to have certain people in your building, a certain amount of people, maybe we are keeping track of, we can't have those gatherings inside an indoor building of maybe more than 50, it depends where you live. And you can set that up actually in the system. And when it hits that number of people signed in, it can just start denying people access and letting your team know that, hey, we've hit our limit. And so the great news is that, you can keep those rules and regulations in place, especially when it comes to COVID-19. And you can also assign great zones for your employees and your visitors when they're signing in. You may want to ask, what area of the building will you be in? So you can make sure that people are spread out and they're not all just congregating in one area. This can help improve that contact tracing as well. Some of our best hygiene practices when we're looking at signing in at that touchless entry or other ways to sign in. Using the touchless, probably not best practice to have people touching a sign-in kiosk, but we do still offer that. We do have those pandemic screening questionnaires that I've mentioned. We also, you can detail pandemic policies using acknowledge notices. So once people are told, yes, you have access to you may want to have a pop-up that lets them know, please make sure you're going to be using the hand sanitizer, please no handshakes, wear a mask at all time. That's to acknowledge because they have answered correctly on everything, and you just need to make sure they're going to be aware of that. Again, you can set up notices to the host should they say, no, I am not going to participate in any of these policies. You may want to let the employee host know that this visitor is choosing not to wash their hands or wear a mask. You can set those up as well. And then there might be it may be simple, but it's effective to use the kiosk, ask to use a hand sanitizer or to wear a mask at all time before entering. You can have a nice little greeting up there as well. And then contact tracing. I know this is always a really popular option, especially right now. Yes, we're collecting all this data, but what if something should happen? So we have that in place. It's easy to report who's on and when. You can see who visited whom. You can see with employees the zones that they're working at, or if you're asking your visitors which zones they're going to be visiting in the building. So you see the areas of the building. So you can see, I mean, they may move out of those areas, but these will be the main points that they were in. And if I'm visiting an employee that works in the offices, then chances are I may have come into contact with anyone else that works in the office zone. So you can use that to just do that contact tracing back. And then we have all the details so you can contact any of your visitors who are hosted by an affected individual. So that's just a quick little overview of some of those features that we offer. I believe we're going to be launching a poll now. And while we get that up on the screen, I thought I'd just tell a little bit of a story of one of our customers. So they currently have location or cloud badging location management at 3 of their facilities, and they were making a strong case to their corporate team to roll this out to their locations. In that time, they did have an outbreak where a visitor came in that did have tests for COVID-19 after the fact. And at 2 facilities, they had who's on location enabled, and they were able to track those people within a matter of not even an hour and get information quickly and let anyone who was in touch with that person or possibly affected by that person, they were able to let them know. Whereas the few other locations that had an issue, they were not able to perform that function. It actually took them over 24 hours to figure it all out. So that was a really strong case. Now the company and corporate are going to be moving over to having those 20 facilities now using cloud badging location management. All right, so there's our polls there. If what we've got here on the screen, just a quick little snapshot. And now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to share my screen because I want to take you through a quick little demo, okay, of what we have to offer. So just bear with me one moment. And I'm just going to share here. Can everyone see my screen? Hopefully you should see a sign in and a sign out. This would be what the touchless kiosk would look like. And I just wanted to have this up to give you an idea. So as mentioned, what we do have the sign in, sign out to touch. You can use that. But we also have the QR code for that touchless entry. Now you don't have to have both displayed. You can do only the QR code if you want. This will then be removed. I have both just to talk to that point, but that's how that works. So all I do is I walk up, I scan the QR code with my phone, with my smartphone, and now I'm just going to pull up my phone here and it'll just load, and you can see I now have the kiosk on my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Everything will remain the same workflow as what you would see on the kiosk. So I'm going to enter my name. I'm just going to be an alias because this is my account. So Tom Green is going to be signing in today. And now the only main question of your visitors is, what is your name? Everything after that is completely optional. I may want to ask, what company are you from? That can help with that contact tracing, but it also gives some nice information to your employees of who's actually visiting them. You may want to ask, who are you visiting today? So we'll just get this to refresh here. I'm talking too much and it's just taking some time. And that's just going to update there. If we've got a bit of a pause, here we go. And then who am I visiting today? This links in with your employee list. Okay, so I can just type in, yep, I'm going to be visiting myself. So I've started typing myself in and I'm going to select that employee. And then what is the purpose of my visit today? You can, again, optional, this is completely customizable, but it gives you more information of why is this person coming into my building. And once I do that, I then move into some of those COVID screenings. And as I mentioned, these are completely customizable and something that you can, have on your phone or have however you'd like. Sorry, my phone on my screen, my phone is all set up. It's just taking a minute for it to come through here for you to view. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit slow today, but I have asked, have you been in contact with anyone with COVID-19 in the last 21 days? Have you suffered any flu-like symptoms? If I was to choose yes, I would then be denied access, okay? And then you may want to have a signature where people sign their name. Sorry about that. I just need it to update, and we'll go ahead and continue. From there, the person that I chose to visit, so you may have just heard my phone buzz, will then be notified via a text message and or email. And then I go ahead and acknowledge. And at that stage, the badge pass will be put out for myself. You'll still print those visitor passes. Everything works like normal. And now the only part that I have up on my screen is a sign out option. So that's just pulling up there. I can't go back and rescan. I only have the sign out option. So that's how that works. Now, to get into that reporting for contact tracing, we have multiple different reports you can run, but people presence will be the one you'll want to look at. You can view employees, visitors, or service providers. I have the employees up today, so I can see who's signed in, what department they're from, when they signed in, which zone they were in, and if they signed out. I can go as far back as I'd like. I can do a custom date range if there's a specific date of a certain outbreak. The nice thing is we're cloud-based. So we hold your data indefinitely as long as you're a paying customer or unless you delete out yourself. So there is always that option there. But you can see here that I can run any time frames I want. I have 24 records, so I might want to see a few more records here to just showcase everyone. And at any stage, I can export this out as a PDF or a CSV file.